Hi, this is one of the long-time campaigners of the abuse by the family court and its associates. So, Kerry, after all these years, we've had a few wins and we should celebrate now that Tracy Martin, the Minister of Children, is gone, and the head of Oranga Tamariki. What do you have to say about that?
Yes, well, things are beginning to move in the right direction family-wise, but there's still a hell of a long way to go in reforming the justice system, and the abuse of families that is still viewed by the legal fraternity. They seem to think they're doing good work. Many of them now understand they've been doing horrendous damage to families and separating children from their parents. This is just so wrong on so many levels. It's unbelievable, and we've still got a long, long way to go to change that.
And so what you're saying is it's don't let the foot off their throat. Let's keep up the pressure.
Yes, I would say so. And well, you've now got a Labour government, and they have a long history of alienating children from their parents, particularly fathers. And in my own personal history, that's how I began to get plugged into this massive problem. We now know that it's some mothers also get separated from their children, but it still is largely fathers. And the Labour Party, since the days of Helen Clark and even prior to that, used to drive this. And Jacinda is just a clone of Helen. I think she's a girl who's way out of her depth.
And don't you think, as a crime, where would you rate the crime of wrongfully removing a parent from the child or a child from the parent?
Well, it's right up there, only a notch below murder, because it has such terrible consequences psychologically and emotionally. These children, many of them are damaged and they're in their formative years, and their whole life is blighted. They never really get...
So you're saying intergenerational abuse by the power of the state?
Yes, intergenerational abuse, facilitated and reinforced by the state, and to a certain extent the police are culpable in this too. We have many police officers who get involved in domestics, and they so readily dismiss the males because they can do physical damage, but there are lots of very nasty females out there too. There's no sense of fairness or effectiveness.
Well, we're all supposed to be equal before the law.
Theoretically.
So you would class this as probably one of the most heinous crimes that exist out there today, to unjustly remove or separate a good parent from a child.
Exactly. I just said it earlier. It's only a notch below murder.
Right. And so who do you hold accountable for this heinous behaviour? Which is there any specific or group that are the head of the horse on this behaviour within the state?
Yes, well, as you know, you have the politicians in the legislative section. They're not really addressing the necessary reforms to protect families. In fact, quite often they're laying down legislation which undermines it. But right at the top, a corrupt judiciary. And some of these people now have a long history of making decisions with no substantive evidence, based on many false allegations. Nothing is proven, and they just seem to make impromptu calls. And many of these people, these judges, have no understanding of family dynamics or child development. And so they have done horrendous damage, not to hundreds, but thousands and thousands of New Zealanders.
Why can't we hold any of these judicial elite, especially in the secret family court, to account? Why is that not able to happen? Because some of the behaviour of some of those judges is outrageous.
It is outrageous, but it seems almost pointless to file complaints because they never followed through. Numerous complaints have been filed against judges. They're never properly investigated. And I can't think of any judge off the top who has been directly dismissed for corrupt process in family disputes.
There is none.
Yeah, that's right. There isn't any recourse.
Yeah.
And so this is why recently with the family court bombing in Sydney, it comes as no surprise to me. In fact, I've been waiting for it to happen. And although it's tragic on people's families in particular, but it comes as no surprise that these people have been damaging Australian families, and so this guy blew up some judges. No surprise to me.
So we don't endorse that kind of behaviour. But
Well, one does wonder where you can go if you've got no legitimate recourse.
and so that is actually really the problem, that these judicial elite are out of control and are all powerful.
Well, I like that. They are, yeah, I believe the judicial elite, that particularly in the family area where they make lots of money and they are unaccountable and they do horrendous damage. And who knows, there may well be a bombing in New Zealand one day.
So like one of the complaints that we've got is the perjury of the social workers that is just supported by the likes of the judiciary. I mean, Judge Burns particularly said that he doesn't listen to the parents. He only listens to the professionals. Now, the problem is we know that the professionals have a motivation for money, employment, and are the most prolific liars of them all.
Well, that's true also. You see, it's quite a network, isn't it? It's quite a monster. We have created a real monster here.
Yeah.
And these professionals, like some social workers and psychologists, they are lying, committing perjury, and they're getting away with it also. You're up against a monster.
So when it comes to the judges, why do you think that some of them take like 3 or 4 months or 8 or 9 months to make a decision based on, keeping a parent separated from their child? Isn't that abuse?
It is abuse, and one does begin to wonder if there isn't some deeper motivation about separating children from their parents. This makes children vulnerable. Well, we know that certain individuals in our society, they seek and target vulnerable children, and one does really wonder sometimes if there ain't some deeper motivation behind this kind of separation.
All right, well, I just want to finish with, we don't support blowing up anybody, but I think it was a wonderful opportunity to talk to one of the still alive and breathing campaigners of the rights of children and basic human rights of the family in New Zealand. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.